Hello everybody, Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. We have a Bachelorette preview for tonight's Hometowns episode. That's right, can you believe it? We're already at Hometowns on charity season of the Bachelorette. I'm going to just share with you guys all of the trailers and what's going on, preparing us for tonight's episode. Maybe you missed a few episodes. Either way, we're going to patch it all together right here. Do me a favor, follow me on Instagram for stand-up show updates at DNeals. Join the Patreon, patreon.com/Dave Neal if you want behind-the-scenes bonus content. I will tell you, I told you today who I believe is the couple that is broken up that hasn't released a statement yet. If you want that information, it's on today's Patreon, behind the scenes content, patreon.com/Dave Neal, and every afternoon, Bachelor Rush Hour, the hit podcast. We'll get to that shortly. All right, let's jump into it. Here are the different trailers, talking to the different parents for tonight's episode of The Bachelorette. We will be live 1 hour before and directly after tonight's episode. So the episode is now back to 8 p.m. East Coast. We'll be live at 7 p.m. East Coast to discuss all the things in the Bachelor world. And there are a lot to discuss. Let me tell you that right now. Things are heating up real fast. Let's have a listen.
Aaron has a wonderful heart. He's warm and loving, and all I want for Aaron is to be happy and to be loved by someone that loves him as much as I do. So what do you find attractive about Aaron?
I think he's someone that is very gentle, someone who's very passionate at the same time. And then our first date, it was really special. We really truly saw and envisioned like what our lives would look like at the end of all this.
Have you been in love before?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So
I have.
and that's not a bad thing, because to love and to lose, that life experience is great to have.
Yeah.
What if Aaron proposed to you today? What would be your answer? Would you be ready to say yes or not?
That is a great question.
She's like, I don't know.
Aaron
Okay, so this is very good. I already got goosebumps. I love it. I love a good mom. Aaron's mom says, I want you to love my son as much as I do. And of course, don't all moms want that? So we're going to, and by the way, here are the photos, the press photos, tonight's episode. Real dapper. The lighting's superb here. Give some credit to the light designer. The cinematography was fantastic. It looks like they might have had an episode in an airplane. Let's hope it's better than the show Lost. We don't need to find out that the smoke monster got the best of them. Some Darwin Initiative. Wouldn't that be fun if Darwin or Darwa? The point is, they look very nice here, and we're going to have to see how it all plays out. So we have Xavier, Aaron, Dotun, and Joey. There they are, wearing fantastic suits, too. Looking very good. Okay, so let's go to our next trailer here. There's our first one, and let's go to this one on the tennis courts. This looks like it's Joey's family.
I'm falling in love with Charity, so I can't wait to have fun with her today with my little surprise.
Open your eyes.
Oh my goodness.
Tennis speaks a lot about who I am, probably where I feel the most comfortable. You're gonna do the same thing you just did.
Hey,
Yep.
you guys almost done?
You kidding me? My uncle shows up, and I'm shocked. I didn't think he was gonna be here today.
All right, here you go.
Smooth. Pretty good. He was my mentor. He was the person that made me into the man I am today.
You got decent hand-eye coordination.
Who's gonna give you the real answer? I can't give. I have to give the
You need good hand-on-eye coordination before the fantasy suites happen. You know what I mean? You need a...
sugar-coated sometimes.
You don't have to. You can be
No,
real.
I don't.
I like Charity, but something didn't feel 100% with Joey. I don't know if I can pinpoint it down to what specifically that would be. It's more just a feeling. I want to look Joey in the eye and see if he's really thinking things through, and that's what I'm hoping I find out tonight.
So the uncle thinks Joey's not serving love over there on The Bachelor. All right, so of course people think Joey might be pipelined to be the next Bachelor, but there he is with his uncle. Big fan favorite there, Joey. I think the biggest Instagram growth on the show so far. And then here we have a group photo of some of the remaining men, not all of them. Of course, we lost Sean and Tanner over there last episode on the 2-on-1. So let's go to Dotun.
I'm just so happy to see Charity again. It's almost been somewhat of a fairy tale, and today's certainly going to test that. Obviously today is hometown, big day, let's go. My parents go to Nigeria every year for 4 to 6 weeks, and so they won't be here, unfortunately. It's really, really sad that Charity's gonna miss out on the two people who I feel like are the most important for her to meet. But I think my brothers and sisters will do a...
And by the way, a comment said, why don't they fly him to Nigeria? I mean, seriously, they could have, for probably under 10 grand, they could have flown them and a couple camera guys to Nigeria and had a good setup there and learn more about his culture. But they didn't do that. They missed that opportunity.
somewhat equally good job of that themselves.
I'm disappointed Dalton's parents aren't going to be able to join us today. I think meeting the parents is like one of the biggest pieces of all of this. It might affect our relationship moving forward.
I mean, will they get a Zoom conversation or something?
And am I prepared for that? Not really.
Now, I guess technically, if we want to be old school, it's if it was The Bachelor, you would want The Bachelor to meet the lady's parents to ask permission. You know, may I marry you? You got to exchange a couple goats. How does it work? You know what I mean? The dowry and all that jazz. We're talking history, folks. But here, it's like, I guess Dotun, if he were to propose, he doesn't have to ask. Well, hold on a second. No, I've got that all wrong. He would have to ask Charity's parents. So anyway, Dotun's parents not in town.
I'm just so happy to see Charity again. It's almost been somewhat of a fairy tale, and today's certainly going to test that. Obviously, today is hometown big day. Let's go.
By the way, safe to say, Katie Thurston doesn't know where Dotun's parents are located. It's a joke, right?
My parents go to Nigeria every year for 4 to 6 weeks. And so they won't be here, unfortunately.
All right. Oh, we already played that. So there it is. So that's Dotun's. We're going to get to meet Dotun's siblings, which will be kind of nice. But of course, we like to get the parents involved because it's always good when the parents don't necessarily believe in how it all goes down. If you haven't already, check out Reality Steve's podcast, Reality Steve Podcast. We actually got a chance to hang out with him yesterday while he was in sunny Southern California for his 100-year high school reunion. I'm kidding. 30, though. Oh, Steve. So anyway, this was the episode that Courtney Robertson and I were on. We talked a lot about hometowns. Again, you're going to have to go listen to it to hear it, but we talked about hometowns specifically because Courtney Robertson's hometown, they encouraged her to tell Ben that she was falling in love with him. They kind of like coerced that out of her, and we talked about the different sort of dynamics that exist on the hometown date.
Yeah, no, we go to Arizona, my hometown. I'm so excited to see my family. I've been so shut off from everybody, and I mean, literally the first time and the last time you see your parents is all on camera.
So Courtney says the first and last time you see your parents is all on camera because you have this idea that you'll get a chance to coach your parents beforehand and this and that. And Courtney says, no, that's not how it works. You don't get a chance to coach your parents. You just see them on camera. So you can't like give them a wink or whatever. And that's why a lot of times the parents are like, is this real? Like they feel like they're seeing you, but also they're part of a production.
God help me.
Here's the trailer for tonight.
I'm in love with you. I feel so good about where we are. I'm hoping to be engaged to this amazing woman.
I'm ready for this movie to have a happy ending.
I am falling in love with 4 people. I don't know what I'm going to do. 2 people are going to be heartbroken tonight, and I'm one of those people. It just doesn't make sense. Don't want to do this.
Coming up tonight on The Bachelorette. Okay, streaming on Hulu. So very nice. Do we have any other trailers left? It looks like that's all we have. Let's go to the Instagram story. 4 men.
I am falling in love with 4 people.
All right, so more or less the same thing. 4 men, 3 roses, and then it's going to get down to the fantasy suites. So tonight we're going to, and speaking of which, by the way, you guys might not know this. I shared this in the last video. My wife designed this great bib here. Going to give it to Thomas for their kid. They're almost ready to burst at the seams with a child. But it says Fantasy Suites. So next week will be the Fantasy Suites episode. So make sure to buy. There's a merch store at the bottom of our videos. You can see you can buy not just a Fantasy Suite bib. I think there's a t-shirt, maybe a hat. There's different things you can buy with that, plus all the other merchandise. And all the proceeds go to my wife's sushi addiction. So if you want her to get the deluxe rolls and not just the California rolls, go buy 2, maybe 5 of those different April bibs, whatever you want to call them. All right. So anyway, go check out Reality Steve's podcast for the full conversation about hometowns. We had a couple funny lines. Let's play another clip.
They were like, yes, we want you to come in and then you're going to be normal from then on. Like, he's like, I'm going to be this character. I'm going to be crazy. They were on board with that. And then they kicked him off. And that's why he was like, Chris Harrison was on board with that. And then
basically what Shanae became is what was supposed to happen to Chad.
But Chad didn't do the Shanae.
Right.
Well, you said
Okay, so in that moment, we were discussing The Bachelor in Paradise villainhood, how Shanae had her redemption story and Chad Johnson was supposed to, but he went so crazy they ended up just kicking him off on night one. So anyway, that content and more. I've also got a Paul Rubens story coming up next on the Bachelor Rush Hour podcast. He was the actor and improviser who played Pee Wee Herman, dead at 70. So we'll have a full homage to him and other entertainment news. Maybe an Ariana Grande update. We'll have that on tonight's Bachelor Rush Hour. That's coming out next. Stick around. We'll be back with that and the live stream. So much content, so little time. We'll be back after this.